On my way to enroll at the military academy, I witnessed a terrible car crash. A heavy truck had violently smashed right into a school bus. In the heat of the moment, I rushed into the bus to save them, pushing through with every last ounce of my strength. Right after I pulled the last kid out, the bus exploded, and the massive blast sent me flying. After being knocked out for 2.5 days, I finally woke up in the hospital. The second I opened my eyes, I ripped out my IV lines and sprinted straight to the academy. Now, if this were just some regular college, making it there eventually would have been fine. But this is a military academy. It's strictly run by the book. When they give you a deadline to report, you report. You cannot be even 1 single minute late. I rushed up to the gates of the Army Command College, threw a crisp salute to the guard on duty, and yelled at the top of my lungs, "Sir. Freshman Lin Wang, class of 22, reporting for duty, sir." Guard looked at me and shot back, "Why on earth are you just now reporting in?" I tried to plead my case. But I had a real emergency. The commanding officers will definitely understand what happened. But the guard just shook his head pityingly. The academy isn't like a civilian school. Missing enrollment comes with serious consequences. He turned around, stepped back into his guard booth, and made a quick phone call. It wasn't long after that, an admissions officer came down and escorted me straight to the commander. "Director, sir, this is the freshman from the class of 22. His name is Lin Wang. He's the student who failed to report on time. He's here to enroll now." "So, you're the cadet who missed the deadline." The director was a true military man through and through. And in the army, discipline is absolutely everything. As far as he was concerned, anyone who couldn't even show up for enrollment, someone who couldn't follow the rules for something so crucial, absolutely did not belong in his academy. His face grew dark as he barked, "Handle this strictly by the book." I took a big step forward and practically shouted my excuse. "Sir, on my way here, I ran into," but before I could even finish my sentence, the director furiously cut me off. "This is a military academy, not some bottom-of-the-barrel diploma mill. A soldier does not make excuses. A soldier gets the mission done. Anyone who fails to contact the school within 12 hours of the deadline to explain their absence is immediately expelled." But right at that exact moment, the phone on his desk started ringing. Looking completely annoyed, he picked it up. "Who exactly are they looking for?" He hung up the phone and looked up, staring right at me. Then he asked, dead serious, "What is your name, son?" "Sir, Lin Wang, sir. And why exactly did you miss enrollment?" "I exhausted myself saving people from a crash, sir. I was knocked out in the hospital for 2 straight days." Hearing that, his stern face instantly broke into a massive, beaming smile. "Yep, that's right. All the details match up perfectly. It really is you. Your situation completely qualifies you for admission. I'll have someone process your paperwork right this second. The parents of those kids managed to track you down, and they're waiting for you in the reception room. Come with me to see them." The two of us walked into the reception room together. The moment we stepped in, a taxi driver leapt to his feet and cheered at the top of his lungs, "The hero. That's him. I saw it with my own eyes the other day. He pulled out more than half of those kids himself." An older woman rushed up to me, "Oh, young man. I came all the way here just to bring you some warm blankets." A female teacher who was with them rushed forward, completely overwhelmed with emotion. "Thank you so much. If you hadn't pulled me out when that bus exploded, I would have." I quickly cut her off. "Hey, keeping people safe is my duty. It was just the right thing to do. Please, you all really don't have to worry about it." A passionate grandma walked over and grabbed my hand right away. "How could I just brush this off? You saved my grandson. You saved my family's lifeline. If I didn't take it to heart, that would be so ungrateful. Here, take this." As she spoke, the grandma pulled out a thick red envelope and shoved it into my hands. I quickly refused. "No. I can't accept this. We have rules. We can't accept valuable gifts from civilians." The director also rushed over to stop her. "Ma'am, you really can't give him this envelope. If Lin Wang takes it, he'll be breaking protocol. He'll be punished, and if it's severe, he could even be expelled." Once the grandma realized the stakes, she finally let it go. The parents surrounded me, showering me with thank yous. Some stuffed fruit into my arms, and some aunties even grabbed me, trying to set me up on a blind date. Trapped in the middle of the crowd, I was completely overwhelmed. The director watched from the sidelines, looking incredibly proud. For a soldier like him, all the trophies in the world couldn't compare to the praise of the people. How could he not be thrilled? I, a freshman who hadn't even officially enrolled yet, had already done something so huge. He was thinking that I absolutely deserved a major reward. He had to write a report to his superiors right away and apply for a military commendation. Suddenly, a man carrying a silk banner walked over to the director. The director assumed the man was coming over to thank him as well, to thank him for raising such a fine soldier. He instantly broke into a bright smile, but to his surprise, the man spoke up and said, "Hello, Commander. This banner is for the hero. I only just found out his name on my way here. I had this banner made at the last minute. Could you hold it for our hero for a second?" The man shoved the banner into the director's hands, then turned and squeezed his way into the crowd. Swarming right toward me, the director stood there, completely speechless. So he was just reduced to being a freshman's baggage boy. But then, he burst out laughing. Thinking to himself that this Lin Wang kid was pretty alright, he looked down at the banner in his hands. He ordered the sentry at the gate, later, once the civilians clear out. "Take this freshman to report in." With that, he took off with long strides. He had far more important things to deal with, like reporting this entire situation to the higher-ups and applying for my military commendation. After seeing off the crowd of grateful people, a senior cadet led me to pick up my bedding and daily supplies. After that, we headed straight to the training grounds. By the time the senior brought me over to the squad, everyone else was already in their training gear, practicing drills. The senior reported to a lieutenant, reporting, "Captain Wang, this is a new cadet for your squadron. I've brought him here to report for duty." Wang Jisheng, captain of the 9th Squadron, stood there in his training uniform. His square face was filled with pure grit. Standing at parade rest with his hands behind his back, you could tell at a glance that he was a hardcore veteran. Since I was a soldier in my past life, my instincts kicked in. I immediately dropped my luggage, snapped to attention, and saluted. "Good afternoon, Captain. Freshman Lin Wang, reporting for duty." My movements were crisp and flawless. It was more textbook than a lot of active duty soldiers. This made Wang Jisheng take a second look at me. But there was zero approval in his eyes, just pure, icy indifference. School had officially been in session for a full day now. I had obviously failed to report in on time. And as for why the academy still let me enroll, he had zero interest in finding out. He just thought I was some unpunctual slacker. In the army, being late is basically ignoring a direct order. That left a terrible first impression. He barked coldly, "Fall in." Hearing the command, I jogged straight to the very last row of the formation. Then, I snapped to attention and pivoted. The whole movement was smooth and flawless. Perfect form. That seamless execution instantly caught Wang Jisheng's attention. He marched over to me, face completely stern, and carefully scrutinized my military posture. Eyes staring straight ahead, shoulders relaxed and perfectly leveled. Fingers pressed tightly together, with the middle fingers resting exactly on the seams of my jeans. Heels locked together, and toes angled apart at exactly 60 degrees. An absolutely perfect stance, he thought to himself. The salute and reporting earlier. Well, maybe he just picked that up from watching TV shows. But this stance? Without specialized training, there's just no way a rookie could pull it off so flawlessly. Wang Jisheng stared right at me, clearly puzzled, and asked, "Your posture is perfectly strictly to standard. Where did you learn this?" "Sir, I just watched some TV shows and looked it up online to teach myself, sir." I mean, I couldn't exactly tell him I was a soldier in my past life, right? So, I just had to make up a lie to brush it off. Hearing that answer, Wang Jisheng stepped right up to my face. We were practically nose to nose. Suddenly, his completely stern, tanned face broke into a pleased smile. "Not bad, to achieve this level of perfection just from self-study. I hope you can keep up this exact same passion and eagerness to learn throughout your military career. And become an outstanding soldier, an exceptional army commander." "Yes, sir, I will do my best." Wow, I actually got praised. All the other recruits standing at attention beside me were staring with their eyes wide open. They were absolutely stunned. The notoriously strict Wang Jisheng was actually smiling, and he was handing out compliments. Just how incredible was this Lin Wang guy anyway? To actually earn praise from Captain Wang. But while they were still standing there in pure shock, the very next second, Wang Jisheng started chewing them out. "Look at this new recruit. Now look at yourselves. You've been practicing all afternoon, plus half the morning. And you still can't even stand at attention, stand at ease, or dress the line properly. Tomorrow is the mobilization assembly. If you stand down there listening to the speeches looking like this absolute mess, are you trying to completely humiliate me? You can go around and ask about my reputation, Wang Zhisheng, in this unit. I have never led a bunch of sloppy soldiers. If you can't get it right, you're all doing extra drills tonight. After Wang Zhisheng finished yelling, I was the absolute only one who loudly yelled back, "Yes, sir." Everyone else just stood there looking completely awkward and tense. After all, they were just kids fresh out of high school. How would they know the strict rules of the military? They had absolutely no clue they were supposed to answer yes, sir. Right then, our squadron leader, Wang Zhisheng, definitely gave me a few more mental bonus points after that. Look at him, you are all new recruits, but look at the massive gap between you. From now on, as long as we are in training, whether I am giving a direct order or chewing you out, you will answer, "Yes, sir." And if you have something to say, you will shout, "Report." Before long, it was time to wrap up the training session. Even though the recruits' movements were still pretty sloppy, at least they were passable now. During today's lunch break, squad leaders, you will teach the new recruits the basic essentials of keeping their barracks strictly in order. I will be inspecting the dorms at exactly 2 o'clock. Training dismissed. Fall out. After the formation dispersed, my squad leader and deputy squad leader walked right up to me, offering to help carry my luggage. "Hey, Lin Wang, I'm your squad leader, Li Xin. This is our vice squad leader, Qin Hao." "Hello, squad leader." "Hello, vice squad leader. Let's help you get your bags to the dorms first, and then we'll head over to the cafeteria for some food. Today isn't officially a training day, so the schedule isn't too strict yet. We just want to give you a feel for campus life first. The recruit training at our academy is pretty much exactly like the real military." The squad leader showed me around with such enthusiasm, making it seem like they were super easy to get along with. But having been a soldier in my past life, I knew this friendly vibe was strictly for day one. Once training actually starts, the squad leader is going to be the one pushing us through absolute hell. After lunch, the squad leader and vice squad leader gathered the 8 freshmen in our squad. To square away our dorms, the vice squad leader gave us a live demonstration, while the squad leader explained the steps. The blanket must be folded into perfectly equal thirds, 3 equal parts. Those are the basic rules. Since this is your first time learning how to maintain your bunks, we won't be too strict on the exact lengths and heights today. Everyone looked completely dumbfounded. Folding a blanket actually had specific length and height requirements? Wang Dahu leaned against the bed frame, his eyes wide with shock. He let out a bitter laugh and muttered, "Length and height requirements just for folding a blanket? Man, I didn't even stress this much over the college entrance exams. This blanket thing is gonna kill me." Another recruit named Lu Yi grumbled under his breath, "Are we here to be soldiers and fight in a war? Or are we just here to fold blankets? Instead of wasting all our time on this crap, we should be out practicing our marksmanship. Or learning some actual tactics." This poorly timed complaint of his instantly wiped the smiles off the squad leaders' faces. The squad leader's voice dropped to a low growl, "Squad, attention. Assemble." At his command, the 8 of his freshmen scrambled around in a complete panic. Before we finally managed to form a somewhat straight line, then, the squad leader started laying into us. The military demands absolute uniformity, immediate execution of orders. True character is forged in the finest details. If your personal habits are a sloppy mess, how the hell do you expect to maintain discipline in anything else? When it comes to the standard for folding your military blankets, Qin Hao's work is exactly what I expect from all of you. Whether it's your shoes, the clothes in your locker, or even your water thermoses. The way you arrange your mugs and towels, even the direction your toothbrushes are facing. Everything must be lined up perfectly. As the squad leader barked out his lecture, he kept glaring down the line of his freshmen. Right in the middle of his speech, he suddenly stopped dead in his tracks. His eyes were locked onto one of the beds. It was my bed. Every single corner of the blanket on it was folded to a perfect 90-degree angle. The bedsheets were so smooth they looked freshly ironed, and my cap was placed perfectly in the center of the blanket. This bunk inspection is a perfect score. Whose bed is this? Reporting, sir. It's mine. To think you could fold a soft, brand new blanket this well. If I didn't know for a fact that you just reported in today, I'd swear you were a seasoned veteran. Did you practice this at home? I didn't have much to do over the summer, so I just looked up some tutorials online and practiced on my own. The squad leader nodded in approval. You've got excellent self-discipline. You're a natural-born soldier, he said, before turning his fierce gaze back to the rest of the squad. His face instantly darkened. Now look at the rest of you. Compared to Lin Wang's bunk, your beds are absolute pigsties. If you can't even tidy up properly, your dorm chores are still a complete mess. If you guys put in even half the effort Lin Wang does, I wouldn't have to stand here lecturing you. The other freshmen turned their heads, letting out gasps of amazement one by one. Wang Dahu, always the blunt one, took one look and blurted out, "Wow, Lin Wang's blanket is folded even better than the deputy monitor's." The moment those words left his mouth, someone nudged him hard from the side, signaling that the deputy monitor was standing right there, and he really shouldn't be saying that. But the deputy monitor just laughed good-naturedly. "You're just stating the facts. Lin Wang's chores really are better than mine. Looks like I've got some catching up to do." Hearing this, the others couldn't hold back anymore and started chiming in with their praises. "Lin Wang, is your blanket made of solid steel or something? No way, that's just cotton. It's impossible to fold it that perfectly. And look at the bedsheet, there's literally not a single wrinkle on it." The whole dorm couldn't stop raving about my work, and the monitor straight up made my bed the golden standard. He told everyone else they had to match it. "Alright, listen up, the deputy monitor and I have taught you everything you need to know. We have to head out for a meeting now. You guys stay here and sort out your dorm chores. If you don't know how to do something, just ask Lin Wang. Use this time to get to know each other, and give the place a good cleaning while you're at it." With me taking the lead, the rest of the freshmen started awkwardly mimicking my moves to fold their military blankets. Lu Yishan actually thought I was a total rookie just like him. He smugly thought to himself, if you can do it, so can I. As he folded his blanket, he scoffed dismissively, "What's so hard about folding a blanket anyway? You just make it look like a little square, right?" But no matter how hard he tried, the blanket just wouldn't hold a square shape. After a few frustrating attempts, the arrogant smirk on Lu Yi's face completely vanished. It finally dawned on him that just because I made it look easy, didn't mean they could pull it off. Meanwhile, Wang Dahu was so exhausted he couldn't even stand up straight. He wiped the dripping sweat from his forehead. Man, who would have thought folding a blanket would be harder than hauling cement for my old man? Right at that moment, I walked back in with a fresh bucket of water. I had barely wet my rag, when two of the freshmen suddenly grabbed me by both arms. "Lin Wang, man, we're all brothers in this dorm, right? We're going to be classmates for the next 4 years. You absolutely have to do us this huge favor today. If you help us out now, we swear we'll fetch your meals for the entire 4 years of college." After that, I started folding the blanket while breaking down the key steps out loud, as everyone else huddled around watching closely. Wang Dahu even whipped out a pen and paper, eagerly scribbling down notes and drawing little diagrams. Lu Yi hung back at the edge of the group, but even he was paying absolute attention. Sure, he was a proud guy who usually scoffed at trivial little chores like making a bed. But in a military academy, messing up meant getting screamed at. He had no choice but to swallow his pride and focus. One of the new recruits just kept sighing heavily, looking completely, utterly miserable. Man, back home, I wouldn't even lift a finger to pick up a knocked-over bottle of soy sauce. Isn't this pure torture for me? Hearing that, I couldn't help but sigh inwardly. Kids these days were the absolute apples of their parents' eyes. There was no way they'd ever been made to lift a finger for chores at home. Plus, they were all fresh out of the grueling college entrance exams. Their parents were probably terrified of distracting them from their studies, so they did literally everything for them. It was a far cry from my past life, where I had always drawn the short straw, hustling out in the real world at just 15 or 16 years old. And honestly, this life wasn't much easier either. I was always doing heavy lifting at home, and working part-time jobs just to afford my schooling. I looked around at the worried, overwhelmed faces of the freshmen and tried to hype them up. Hey, listen, we all survived the college entrance exams. If we made it through those brutal, soul-crushing days of endless test prep, nothing can stop us now. We are military cadets. We are soldiers. We can handle whatever hardship they throw our way. This little chore is absolutely nothing. Just grit your teeth, and we'll power right through it. I was trying to hype everyone up, but that simpleton Wang Dahu just blurted out that it was impossible. Back home, when I mixed cement for my old man, he said, I could push through no matter how heavy the bags were, just by gritting my teeth. So now I've got this habit. Whenever things get tough, I just grit my teeth. But just now, when we were folding those blankets, I gritted my teeth so hard I almost cracked my back molars. And they still aren't folded right. This really isn't something you can just grit your teeth and get through. I was completely speechless, but when the rest of the guys heard him, they burst out laughing. Just like that, the tense atmosphere in the dorm lightened up a lot. I took the chance to step up. Alright, knock it off, guys. We're soldiers of Washa now. We've got to show that military grit, bearing hardships and facing challenges head on. We can't be afraid of a little hardship. Yeah, folding these military blankets is tough, but we can definitely overcome it. Lu Yi immediately chimed in. Yeah, exactly. We have to overcome these difficulties and become outstanding soldiers of Washa. Outstanding army commanders, even. Let's go. After hyping each other up, everyone threw themselves right back into the grind, folding blankets, making beds, and scrubbing the dorm. Watching everyone bustling around together, I couldn't help but think back to my days as a recruit in my past life. Back then, I was just as full of life and energy as these freshmen. I had all sorts of wild dreams about military life. It was only later that I realized, being a soldier was so much harder than I had imagined. The brutal training, the incredibly strict rules, and the dull, repetitive life without any modern entertainment. But getting a second chance at life. I'm genuinely glad that I made it into the military academy. Glad to be a soldier again. Because they say you might regret enlisting for 2 years, but you'll regret not enlisting for the rest of your life. There's no toxic scheming here like out in the real world. Only brothers in arms who you can trust to watch your back. When the 2 squad leaders came back from their meeting, they looked pretty damn satisfied with how the dorm was looking. Vice Squad Leader Chin Hao went right out and said it. Our squad's room inspection could go toe-to-toe with the graduating seniors. I honestly can't find a single flaw anywhere. As he said that, he unconsciously shot me a glance. He knew full well it was all because of me. After Squad Leader Li Xin thoroughly inspected every nook and cranny, he nodded in satisfaction too. Then, he dragged a chair right into the middle of the room. The Vice Squad Leader pulled out a piece of army green tarp. Everyone stared, completely baffled. What on earth were they doing? Li Xin spoke up slowly. At the squadron leaders' meeting just now, they demanded that at tomorrow's mobilization rally, every single freshman must be dressed exactly to regulation. You need to look like proper soldiers. Now, the academy does have a barbershop, but it's the start of the semester. With all the freshmen checking in, it's definitely packed. So, to save time, line up and come over here one by one. I'm cutting your hair myself. Hearing that, someone sighed heavily. Man, I got a root perm specifically for the summer, and now it's all getting buzzed off. I mean, I knew the army didn't allow long hair. I knew this day was coming. But it still hurts to lose it. The freshmen took turns sitting down in the chair, letting the squad leader shave their heads. A few guys were visibly heartbroken over their hair. Hey, even guys want to look good. It's just human nature to want a nice hairstyle. It wasn't long before it was my turn. I sat down in the chair. My back was ramrod straight, legs slightly apart, and my hands rested naturally on my knees. The absolute textbook military sitting posture. I just closed my eyes and waited quietly for the haircut to finish before heading back to sit on my bed. Squad leader had already looked shocked at my perfect posture earlier. Now, seeing me sitting on my bed, still maintaining that exact same military posture, paired with a completely calm expression on my face. In stark contrast to the grumbling and curiosity of the others, he casually remarked, "The way you sit, you really look like a veteran." I just nodded, responding with a small smile. Well, I am a veteran, but I couldn't exactly tell him I'd been reincarnated, could I? There was just no way to explain that. After our haircuts, the lunch break was already over. With no time to rest, everyone headed straight to the training ground for posture drills. That evening, the freshmen were chatting in the dorm while washing up. The real training hasn't even started yet. I'm already sick of it. There are way too many rules. We have to report every little thing, it's so annoying. And we can't even contact the outside world. My high-maintenance girlfriend is definitely gonna dump me for this. Yeah, the squad leader gave us so many rules, I can't even remember them all. Report before doing anything. Salute the officers when you see them. Face all your toothbrushes the exact same way. The freshman started getting confused as he listed them off. I casually chimed in, also, no asking for leave during the 3 months of military training. No going off base. No using any electronic devices. No smoking. When you step out of the dorm building, you have to march in a perfect formation. And when you turn a corner, it has to be a sharp 90-degree angle. 2 people make a line, 3 people make a column. As I washed my feet, I casually rattled off a whole list of military regulations. The freshmen were completely dumbfounded. To them, these were just newly learned rules. Just cold, hard text written in a manual. But to me, they were the daily routine of my past life. Habits carved right into my bones. I used to lose my mind over them too, just like these guys. But eventually, I got used to it. That strict discipline, that meticulous attention to detail, that neat, serious demeanor had become a part of who I was. Lu Yi stared at me in shock and asked, "Lin Wang, you sure you're not a veteran? Why does it feel like you're more of a soldier than the squad leader? Or even the deputy squad leader?" I joked back, "If you say so, then maybe I am." Early the next morning, while the freshmen were still fast asleep, they were jolted awake by the piercing sound of a whistle. The squad leader, the deputy, and I sprang out of bed the second we heard it. The others were completely groggy, taking forever to realize what was going on. The sharper ones scrambled frantically to get dressed, while the slower ones were still confused. "What's going on?" I threw on my pants, jumped out of bed, flipped the lights on, and yelled, "Get up, hurry." Emergency assembly. The sudden, blinding glare of the lights, combined with my shouting, finally snapped everyone wide awake. Realizing what was happening, the squad leader and deputy also started roaring at the freshmen to hurry up. What followed was a chaotic cacophony of people scrambling out of bed. Why an assembly out of nowhere? Holy crap, it's only 5:30. Why are we gathering now? Shut up and put your clothes on. Don't give old Black Wang another excuse to punish us. As the squadron captain, Wang Zhisheng was incredibly strict with training. His face was always as dark as a thundercloud, so everyone secretly gave him the nickname Old Black Wang. "Hey, who took my shoe? Now I've got 2 left feet. Hey, top bunk, keep it down, would you? The bed's gonna collapse. Can't get this blanket folded right. Whatever, I'll just leave it." While the other recruits were still groaning and complaining, I was already packed and ready to go. I bolted downstairs to the assembly point. Captain Wang Zhisheng saw me sprint out first. Looking genuinely surprised, he glanced down at his watch. Only 2 minutes and 15 seconds had passed. With that kind of speed, let alone a rookie, even among the seasoned vets, that was pretty damn impressive. He looked right at me, and that proud, approving smile crept back onto his face. Out of all the recruits he's trained, I swear I'm the only one who can actually make him smile. "Not bad, that was fast, Lin Wang. Did you practice emergency drills at home too?" "Sir, yes sir." Wang Zhisheng nodded, his eyes full of respect. "Good work, very good. I've trained a lot of guys, but your self-discipline? It's the best I've seen. Keep that fire burning, son. You're gonna make one hell of a soldier someday." "Thank you, Captain." Right as we finished talking, Squad Leader Li Xin and Vice Squad Leader Qin Hao finally came running down. Wang Zhisheng checked his stopwatch. 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Barely passing, he muttered. He stood out there for what felt like forever, waiting for the rest of the recruits to finally stumble downstairs. And even though they took forever, they still looked like an absolute mess. Guys had their hats on sideways, buttons totally misaligned. Some hadn't even pulled the backs of their boots up. Wang Zhisheng scanned the crowd, letting out a heavy, disappointed sigh. "Since this is only your 3rd day of training, and you're all still clueless about the standards, plus it's your first emergency drill, I'll let it slide today. But I want to single out Lin Wang right now. He's a rookie just like the rest of you. But look at the massive gap between you guys. You tell me, how does that look?" Wang Zhisheng paused, and the formation went dead silent. Nobody even dared to breathe, because they all knew exactly how slow they were. They couldn't even hold a candle to me. Then he snapped back into drill sergeant mode. "Attention, double time to the training ground. Move out." The recruits started jogging forward, their footsteps a chaotic, uncoordinated mess. When we hit the field, we realized some of the other companies were already out there sweating. Everyone was confused, whispering, "What's going on? What the hell are they doing?" I finally spoke up. "Today's the mobilization rally. All the captains are terrified their guys are gonna look like a sloppy mess in formation. So they're out here getting extra reps in. Just then, Wang Zhisheng came up behind us and blew his whistle sharply. Everyone shut up instantly. Then he barked out, "Listen up. At 8 o'clock this morning is the recruit mobilization rally. Do not embarrass me out there today. We are starting with the absolute basics. Company, at ease, attention, dress right, dress." While we were running these extra drills, because I was nailing every move, Wang Zhisheng specifically called me out of the ranks to demonstrate for the rest of the guys. Just looking at how intense Wang Zhisheng was about this rally, pushing us with extra drills, cheering us on, and yelling threats, you could tell he took this event incredibly seriously. Basic training hadn't even officially kicked off yet, but the secret turf war between the captains was already in full swing. Nobody wanted to be the laughingstock. Wang Zhisheng glared at our batch of rookies, looking pretty grim. He was definitely praying we wouldn't screw this up. In the blink of an eye, it was already 7:30. The new recruits all finished up their training and headed to the dining hall to eat. Then, their squadron leaders marched them out to the field. At exactly 8 o'clock, all the academy leaders showed up on the main stage. Director of Instruction Chen Wei took his seat, grabbed the mic, and started speaking. "Hello, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to have you all gathered here today. I'm Chen Wei, the freshman director in charge of your basic training. Welcome to the Army Command College. Starting today, you are officially enlisted soldiers. Before this mobilization rally, you've already had a head start in adjusting to a little over a day of military academy life. Life here is going to be vastly different from what you imagined. I bet some of you are already thinking about backing out. Being a soldier isn't about wearing a sharp uniform and strutting around looking cool with high-tech weapons to fight bad guys. It means pushing through the blood, sweat, and tears, charging right to the most dangerous front lines, and often leaving without ever being remembered. What you're wearing right now isn't just a uniform. It's a heavy responsibility. It's the absolute hope of the people." Director Chen Wei talked for quite a while, sharing his own personal experiences about military life and what it truly means to bear a soldier's duty. Finally, he said, "I firmly believe that in the future, you all will become fully qualified army commanders and outstanding soldiers of China." Clap, clap, clap. A wave of thunderous applause erupted from the crowd. Chen Wei held out his hands and motioned downward twice, signaling for everyone to quiet down. Then, he moved on to the main point of the rally. Today's rally mainly covers two things. The first is to go over the incoming freshmen's 3-month pre-term training plan. Hearing the words live fire shooting, new recruits instantly lit up with excitement. Getting their hands on a real gun was an absolute temptation for any guy. And with live ammo, too? How could they not be hyped? Lu Yi couldn't help but whisper, shooting guns, and actual military sniper rifles at that. Man, isn't this way cooler than racing cars? Wang Dahu was absolutely thrilled. Heck, if I become a sniper, I'll definitely be the hottest bachelor for blind dates back in my village. The others quietly teased him, you being a hot commodity? Maybe, but you being a handsome guy? Not a chance. They kept whispering and joking among themselves. I took it all in. Even though I was still standing perfectly at attention, my face was totally deadpan, but my eyes were full of deep nostalgia. How many times was I just like these greenhorns? Freshly enlisted and completely clueless about the rules. Don't let their excitement about touching a real gun fool you. Once the real shooting training kicks off, they'll be whining and howling in misery, one louder than the other. Just the sniper aiming drills alone are enough to break most guys. Up on stage, Director Chen Wei finished explaining the specific testing requirements, and then added, I'll let you in on a little secret right now. Whoever gets first place after basic training will be awarded a third-class merit. 2nd through 10th place will also receive rewards. Hearing that, every single recruit in the crowd was instantly fired up and ready to fight for it. Next, let me move on to another very important matter. I was originally supposed to run today's rally all by myself. But as you can see, all the academy leaders are here. And that's because we are going to commend someone for their meritorious service. Commending someone for a merit? And a whole bunch of academy leaders came out specifically for this? Looks like this guy must have done something incredibly heroic. But the mobilization rally just started, and basic training hasn't even begun yet. How could there already be someone earning a merit? Could it be one of the squadron leaders or a senior cadet? When I heard this, my eyes flickered and I instantly knew exactly what was going on. It had to be about that time I saved someone from a car crash. The locals must have come to drop off an honorary banner of gratitude. And this probably even made the local news. I can't guarantee a first-class merit, but at the very least, he'd get a second-class merit. Seeing everyone's confused expressions, Chen Wei couldn't help but smile. I know you're all very curious. Training hasn't even started yet, so how come we're already giving out commendations? I absolutely never expected this either, and the one being commended is actually a freshman. Huh? A freshman getting military honors? And the school leaders even came specifically to commend him? Director, are you sure you're not joking? Training hasn't even started. Freshmen are just kids fresh out of high school. How could they possibly get military honors? Was it just blind luck? Chen Wei continued, this freshman is truly remarkable. On his way to report for duty, he encountered a severe accident where a bus full of kindergarteners had overturned. He bravely stepped up, and from the extremely dangerous confines of a bus that was about to explode, he rescued more than half of the kids. He successfully got all those kids out before the bus blew up, preventing a horrific tragedy and saving countless families. Just yesterday, the kindergarten teachers and parents came to the school together to express their gratitude. They even brought a pennant. Hearing this explanation, everyone was absolutely shocked. One person, from a bus that was about to explode, rescued more than half of the kids? And a bus fully loaded with kids. There must have been at least 30 or 40 kids. Rescuing more than half means at least 20-something kids. Saving people from a bus that's about to explode. That requires not just immense courage, but incredible capability. Even special forces might not be able to save that many. Is this really something a freshman could do? It's just too unbelievable. But the director of teaching couldn't possibly lie on such an occasion, so everyone was dying to know who this person really was. This incident has been verified by multiple parties. The school board has decided to award this comrade a first-class merit. The entire crowd was in an uproar again. First-class merit? A freshman who hasn't even officially enrolled is getting a first-class merit? All the squadron leaders and instructors present were dumbfounded, let alone in a military academy. Even in an active combat unit, getting a first-class merit is incredibly difficult. It's something you almost never see. In the military, this gets you an immediate on-the-spot promotion. In civil society, not only do you get special treatment for jobs, but for things like grad school admissions, you can get in without even taking the exams. A first-class merit is the highest honor in peacetime, and of course, it's nearly impossible to obtain. Even if you get it, it usually means you're either dead or severely injured. Never mind the freshmen being jealous. Even the veterans were green with envy. After multiple verifications, this had to be true, without any exaggeration. This freshman is just too awesome. Just enrolled. Oh wait. He was on his way to report. He hasn't even officially enrolled and he's already earned merits. This is just mind-blowing. Getting a first-class merit before even starting school. This freshman's future career is definitely going to be extraordinary. Chen Wei raised his voice. This freshman is Comrade Lin Wang from the 9th Squadron of the 3rd District. A round of applause, please, for Comrade Lin Wang to come up and receive his certificate and military medal. Clap, clap, clap. Thunderous applause instantly erupted across the scene. Everyone was looking around, curiously searching for this freshman. The other squadron leaders shot Wang Zhisheng looks of pure envy and jealousy. They were all wondering how they missed out on getting such a fantastic soldier in their own squads. It was an absolute stroke of luck. But over in the 9th Squadron, everyone was staring at me in total shock. Ever since I reported in yesterday, they'd already been blown away by my skills a few times. And today, I just dropped a massive surprise on them. The guys in the 9th Squadron were cheering their hearts out, clapping louder than anyone else. Honestly, they looked even more thrilled than I was. Having a brother in arms like me made them incredibly proud. Wang Dahu shouted at the top of his lungs, Lin Wang. You did something this huge, and you didn't even tell us? You were late for registration because you were out saving people from that car crash, weren't you? Lu Yi couldn't hold back either, slapping me on the shoulder. You sneaky guy, keeping secrets from us. Seeing Lu Yi being so loud and fidgety, Wang Zhisheng initially wanted to chew him out right there. But someone in his own unit just earned a first-class merit. What an unbelievable honor. It made him look so damn good, he was just too happy to care. So he just shot Lu Yi a warning glare, deciding to punish him later. Surrounded by roaring applause, I jogged up to the podium with perfect form to accept my award. Wang Zhisheng couldn't resist bragging to the other captains. This kid didn't breathe a word about it, kept it all to himself. He hasn't even started formal training yet, and he's already winning medals. How did I get so lucky to snag a recruit like him? The other captains smiled politely, but inside, they were dying of jealousy. Meanwhile, I stood before the academy's top brass and gave them a crisp, flawless salute. The principal stood up, handing me the certificate and my shiny new medal with a warm smile. "Outstanding work, son." "Thank you, sir," I replied loudly. "I am deeply grateful to the academy for this honor. Moving forward, I will train harder, study harder, and live up to the expectations of my captain and the academy. I will not let this uniform down, and I will not let the people down." The principal studied my face, noticing how calm and composed I remained. He looked puzzled. "Getting a first-class merit, even if you aren't jumping for joy. You'd at least show a little excitement, right?" But I didn't show a hint of emotion. Confused, he asked, "You don't look excited at all. Are you disappointed with a first-class merit?" "Sir, no, sir. I just believe that as a soldier of our nation, protecting civilians is simply my duty. This first-class merit is a reminder, a medal pushing me to stay true to that responsibility. It reminds me that a soldier's calling is to defend our homeland, protect the peace, and rush to the rescue of those in need. It's not something to brag about. I shouldn't let this go to my head and stop pushing forward. Instead, I need to dedicate myself even more to my studies and training, so I can earn even greater honors in the future." Hearing my answer, the principal's eyes instantly lit up. He never imagined that such profound, mature words would come from a brand new recruit. Standing before him, whether it was my bravery in rescuing those trapped kids, or the mindset I was showing right now, I felt less like a rookie and more like a battle-hardened veteran. I truly proved myself as a brilliant youth. The principal looked at me with deep admiration and let out a hearty laugh. "Well said, that is exactly the spirit a soldier needs. To have such dedication and such grand ambitions. I look forward to your future achievements. I hope that in the days to come, you'll train and study even harder and turn those ambitions into reality soon." I shifted my certificate and military medal over to my left hand, then stood at attention, saluted, and answered loudly, "Yes, sir. Thank you for your encouragement, sir. I'll do my absolute best." Thunderous applause erupted across the field once again. The conversation between the principal and me made everyone's blood boil with excitement. The freshmen looked at me, full of envy and total awe. They all wanted to be just like me, with a role model like me standing right in front of them. Many of the arrogant freshmen secretly swore to themselves that they would reach my level, or even surpass me. The principal watched my back as I jogged away, and praised me with deep satisfaction to the people next to him. "This Lin Wang. His level of awareness is something even many veterans can't reach. Truly a brilliant young man." I returned to the front of my squad, stopped in my tracks, and gave a sharp salute to Wang Zhisheng. Before I could even say a word, Wang Zhisheng laughed loudly and said, "Fall in." Then, Wang Zhisheng turned his head and bragged to the two other squadron captains beside him. "What an incredible soldier. That speech just now. You guys saw that level of dedication, right? A first-class merit right after enrollment. And his self-discipline is simply off the charts. He does absolutely everything to perfection. Such a fantastic soldier. How did he end up in my squad? Man, what kind of dumb luck did I stumble into? Ha ha ha." It wasn't that Wang Zhisheng wanted to show off, but I was just so outstanding, and made him look so incredibly good that he simply couldn't hold it in. The other two captains were smiling on the outside, but grinding their teeth in pure jealousy on the inside. Now, not only were they jealous that I got a first-class merit, but they were even more jealous of Wang Zhisheng. How did he get assigned such an amazing recruit? The mobilization rally lasted for 2 hours in total. It was already 10 o'clock. The squadron captains started organizing their troops. Some led their freshmen away to train in other areas. Wang Zhisheng stood with his hands behind his back, legs apart, right in front of the 9th Squadron. He scanned the crowd with a dark, furious expression. Every single freshman started getting incredibly nervous and scared. They had no idea what old Black Wang was up to this time, or how he was planning to torture them. I, however, knew exactly what was going on. It was definitely because during the rally just now, some people in the squad were whispering to each other. Wang Zhisheng was here to settle the score. Wang Zhisheng said coldly, "Earlier, Director Chen was giving a big speech up there, and you lot were having your own little chats down here. Pretty bold of you, huh? This is a military academy. You are soldiers, whispering in the ranks while your commanding officer is speaking. How does that make you any different from street thugs? Lin Wang stepped forward. When the freshmen heard old Black Wang call my name, their eyes widened in absolute shock. What's going on? Hearing old Black Wang's angry tone. Was he actually going to scold me? But I just got a first-class merit. How could I possibly get scolded? But then, a single sentence from Wang Zhisheng made the freshmen realize that the real clowns were themselves. Except for Lin Wang, everyone else, 5-kilometer run to warm up. If this ever happens again, you'll be running 10 kilometers. Hearing this, everyone looked completely speechless. We are so dead, but we didn't dare say a word. Because challenging old Black Wang right now, we'll only get punished even harder. I'm so jealous of Lin Wang. He doesn't have to get punished because he got a first-class merit, Wang Zhisheng continued. You're all freshmen too, just look at Lin Wang. When he was standing at attention in the formation just now, his posture didn't shift once. His lips didn't even move. Wang Zhisheng said this on purpose, afraid the freshmen would misunderstand and hold a grudge against me. Hearing this, everyone suddenly remembered, it seems I really didn't whisper to anyone just now, talk, or even move a single muscle. At this moment, however, I stepped forward. Sir, I request to be punished together. Even though I didn't make a mistake, I failed to remind and urge my comrades, so I am at fault too. Besides, we are one squadron, one collective unit. If everyone is being punished, I shouldn't be an exception. Wang Zhisheng nodded in approval. Good, you have the right mindset. I'm genuinely impressed. Go ahead. Thank you, squadron leader. After thanking him in my heart, I returned to the formation. Next, the platoon leaders led their troops to run 5 kilometers on the field. The track is 400 meters a lap. After running for more than 2 laps, about over 1,000 meters, the freshmen were already dead tired. Dragging their feet, unable to lift them, they struggled to shuffle forward. But I showed absolutely no signs of fatigue. Lu Yi was running next to me. Seeing from the corner of his eye that I wasn't tired at all, he asked breathlessly, Lin Wang, are you not tired at all? No wonder you volunteered to run with us. Turns out you're just good at running. But then again, are you crazy? Even if you're a great runner, this is still 5 kilometers. Why bring this suffering upon yourself? But you're a real one for this. You didn't abandon your brothers to enjoy the easy way out. Wang Dahu said, completely out of breath. Lin Wang, tell me, why would you take the punishment with us? Even if you didn't run, we wouldn't have held it against you. The other guys from our dorm chimed in as well. Lin Wang, you're a true bro. Through thick and thin, we stick together. Even running, we run together. Now, there wasn't a single person in the squadron who didn't speak highly of me. They all felt that my staying behind to share the punishment was incredibly loyal. A real bro move. I slowly opened my mouth and said, we are one team. Right after saying that, I broke out of the formation and ran up to the platoon leader in charge. Sir, I'd like to pick up the pace and run ahead. Seeing that I wasn't struggling much, the platoon leader replied, go ahead. Just pace yourself, don't exhaust yourself too much, and ruin the rest of your training. I gave a quick yes, and accelerated forward. In a flash, I pulled away from my 3rd platoon's formation. My speed was still increasing at a visible rate. Freshmen in the 3rd platoon were completely dumbfounded by this. Mother of God, Lin Wang can actually still sprint right now. This guy's stamina is way too insane. Are you kidding me? We've already run over 1,000 meters. And Lin Wang can still accelerate this fiercely? In the distance, the instructor watching the freshmen, Wang Min asked in amazement, is that Lin Wang running at the very front? The kid with the first-class merit? Beside him, Wang Zhisheng looked equally surprised. Yeah, that's Lin Wang. I didn't expect the kid to have such incredible stamina. This boy is really something. High situational awareness, top-notch fitness, and incredible self-discipline. He is a born soldier. Wang Min exclaimed in pure awe. I have a gut feeling. Lin Wang is going to be the absolute best out of this entire batch. Maybe even the best in the entire district. Wang Zhisheng said with a hearty laugh. Let's not jump to conclusions too quickly. Military training lasts for 3 months. And this is just the beginning. The truly brutal military drills are still waiting for him down the line. That won't be a walk in the park. Besides, there are plenty of outstanding rookies across the district. Lin Wang might have great stamina and sharp instincts, but that doesn't mean he'll ace everything. By this time, I had already pushed to the very front of the formation. The rookies from the other platoons couldn't help but gasp, "Holy crap. Who is that beast?" "Oh, that's Lin Wang, the guy who bagged the first-class merit. He's already run 2 kilometers, and he's still sprinting that fast? No way, I'm going to catch up to him." A few of the more competitive rookies, who were also strong runners, immediately reported to the platoon leader, asking for permission to break formation and speed up. They wanted to challenge me head-to-head. As more and more guys asked for permission, the organized group jog slowly turned into a free-for-all race. Soon, the best runners among the freshmen were sprinting with all their might, and actually caught up to me. A smug smirk crept onto their faces almost at the exact same time. They all thought they had a real shot at stealing first place. Little did they know, just maintaining this steady pace was already pushing their absolute limits. Watching from a distance, Wang Zhisheng exchanged a knowing look with Wang Min. From the looks of it, Wang Zhisheng noted, "Lin Wang definitely has the best stamina in our entire squadron." Having trained recruits for years, their sharp eyes could tell in an instant that out of the frontrunners, I had the most gas left in the tank. And sure enough, when we hit the final 3 laps, with over 1,000 meters left to the finish line, I suddenly kicked it into high gear, blasted forward at a 100-meter sprint pace, leaving everyone eating my dust. In the blink of an eye, I completely ditched those fast-running rookies. Way behind me, holy shit, how does Lin Wang still have the energy to sprint? Don't tell me he was holding back this whole time? Man, I definitely can't keep up with that burst. My sudden explosive burst of speed triggered a few guys around me to try and sprint too. Too bad they had already been running at their absolute max for the last few laps. Their stamina was basically completely drained. After a few desperate steps, they just hit a wall. They had completely maxed out. There was only one guy left behind me, pushing hard to keep up. His name was Wu Shang, and his endurance was seriously impressive. He was a natural at long-distance running. Damn it, why the hell is Lin Wang sprinting so early? Aren't you supposed to wait until the final lap to go all out? Wu Shang gritted his teeth and chased after me. But the gap between us just kept getting bigger and bigger. He was slowly running out of steam. As we hit the final 2 laps, Wu Shang watched in horror as I somehow sped up even more. That's when it finally hit him. That whole last lap was literally just a warm-up for my final sprint. In the blink of an eye, I crossed the finish line. I beat Wu Shang by more than an entire lap. And those guys who tried to challenge me at the start? I was almost 2 full laps ahead of them. As for the rest of the pack, I had lapped them more times than I could even count. After crossing the finish line, I didn't just stop dead in my tracks. Instead, I eased from a full sprint into a light jog, and then finally, into a slow, relaxed walk. You gotta give your body a chance to cool down. That's a classic trick for long-distance running. Otherwise, you'll get dizzy, and it's super easy to tear a muscle. Wang Zhisheng and Wang Min caught sight of this and shared a knowing smile. Wang Zhisheng pointed out that Lin Wang's speed and stamina were already right up there with the seasoned veterans. With a little more training, Lin Wang is bound to become the absolute top dog in the squadron. He kept his eyes glued on me, a massive grin plastered across his face. Wu Shang crossed the finish line completely out of breath, glaring fiercely at my back. This was the very first time he'd ever run like he was gunning for first place. The other recruits who had just been chasing after me slowly straggled across the finish line, completely out of breath and wheezing. I had no idea you could run like that. I guess there's always a bigger fish, huh? I seriously thought I was one of the fastest runners among the freshmen, but man, compared to Lin Wang, ain't worth squat. Honestly, though, if you're gonna compete, you gotta compete with the best. Just now, sprinting right behind Lin Wang, I could totally feel myself breaking past my old limits. The other freshmen hadn't even reached the finish line yet. They already looked like they were on death's door. I mean, they used to collapse from exhaustion just doing the 1500-meter run back in high school. Let alone a grueling 5 kilometers now. About 15 minutes later, the rest of the freshmen finally dragged themselves across the finish line. Wang Zhisheng barked an order to all the squad leaders to lead their squads through some stretches to ease up those sore muscles. After that, he gave everyone a moment to catch their breath. While we were resting, all the rookies from my squad, Platoon 3, Squad 3, crowded right around me. Damn, Lin Wang, you really kept that hidden. Who knew you were so insanely fast? No wonder you volunteered to take the punishment with us. Turns out you just wanted to show off what you're made of. Come on, Lin Wang, spit it out. How exactly did you train to run that damn fast? I just gave them a little smirk. I didn't actually train for it. Just pure natural talent. Oh, come on, Lin Wang, that is such a massive humble brag. Next up was formation training. Wang Zhisheng paced around with a tree branch in his hand, weaving his way through the ranks. Whenever he caught someone slacking on their posture, he'd give them a sharp tap with the branch. A whack on the butt here. Tuck that butt in. A jab to the stomach there. Suck in that gut. Chest out. Eyes dead ahead. Middle fingers glued to the seams of your pants. It didn't take long before the freshmen started struggling to hold it together. A bunch of them started swaying on their feet, occasionally losing their balance. In the blink of an eye, the morning drills were over. After scarfing down some chow, everyone dragged themselves back to the dorms for a quick breather. But the afternoon brought even more formation drills. Standing at attention, it sounds like a piece of cake, right? It looks pretty easy, too. But for the fresh meat, it was pure, unadulterated torture. They honestly thought old Black Wong was brutal enough this morning, making them run 5 whole kilometers. And then stand perfectly still for over an hour. Little did they know, he was saving his ultimate attack for the afternoon. The instructor brought out some new gear for everyone, and the recruits were absolutely dying of curiosity. Because the gear he brought out was a deck of playing cards. What the hell are we supposed to do with cards? Are we having game time because we're too tired? Everyone was craning their necks in total confusion. I was the only guy in the ranks keeping a perfectly straight face. I knew exactly what was coming next. These rookies were about to start crying in pain all over again. Wang Zhisheng paced back and forth through the ranks, his voice dropping to a harsh, icy bark. Just look at you, standing there all crooked and slouching, swaying like weeds in the wind. You don't have a single ounce of the swagger a soldier should have. You lot are begging for a drill. He walked up to a freshman and roughly twisted his head straight. Then he snatched off his cap and placed it upside down right on top of his head. And he warned him, don't you dare let it fall. For every time it drops, that's 10 extra minutes of drills. Immediately after, Wang Zhisheng glared at the crowd. All of you, do exactly as he's doing. He walked over to me, took one look at my perfect posture, and nodded in satisfaction. Then he reached out and asked the counselor for a deck of playing cards. He placed my cap on right, took 2 playing cards, separated them, and wedged them right between my fingers and the seams of my pants. This is the most common trick in the military for training the position of attention. If you don't want the cap to fall off, you have to keep your head perfectly balanced. If you don't want the cards to drop, your shoulders and arms must stay tight and perfectly still. It's a very effective method, but for the new recruits, it's absolute torture. In my past life, I marched in the military parade. I trained in the position of attention and the goose step for 3 solid months. I wore out 3 pairs of combat boots. So right now, these little playing cards are a complete piece of cake. Wang Zhisheng stared at the cap on my head, without seeing a single wobble, and the cards pinned between my hands and pants were rock solid. He gave a very satisfied nod. When it came to standing in formation, I was exactly as outstanding as he expected. Do you see this? Lin Wang is your prime example. I expect every single one of you to do it exactly like Lin Wang. You're all freshmen here. You can't just accept being worse than him. From this moment on, the posture drill ends only when the stuff on Lin Wang falls off. Hearing this, the other freshmen felt utterly miserable, but they didn't dare say a word, just cursing silently in their heads. So this is what playing cards are used for. The squad leaders went down the line, wedging cards into every recruit's hands. Then they all stood at attention, keeping a close eye on each other. The freshmen kept their mouths shut tight. But inside, every single one of them was screaming, "Old Black Wong, how can you be so damn ruthless?" I thought coming to military school meant studying weapons or scaling walls to save hostages. Instead, we're stuck here squeezing freaking playing cards. And the worst part is, we can't even hold on to them. They keep dropping. Is Lin Wang even human? How are we supposed to compete with that? While cursing old Black Wong, the freshmen were all secretly praying for my stuff to just drop already. 5 minutes went by. I stood there like a statue, completely motionless. A few freshmen had already broken down. Either their caps fell, or their cards slipped, and every single one of them, without exception, was slapped with 5 extra minutes by Wang Zhisheng. Half an hour passed. I still looked like a statue. As for the things on the other freshmen, who knows how many times they had dropped by now. They didn't even care about extra drills anymore. After dropping it so many times, what was one or two more gonna do? Another half hour dragged on. Some freshmen truly couldn't hold it anymore, and purposely let their caps or cards fall, just to catch a quick break while picking them up. Wang Zhisheng saw right through all of this. At the end of the day, these freshmen were still just kids who had just finished their high school exams. Training had to be taken step by step, so he just turned a blind eye to it. But me, I made him look at me with newfound respect yet again. The freshmen of Squadron 9 had been standing under the blazing sun for almost an hour now. Sweat was pouring down their faces like rain. Massive drops of sweat kept smashing into the sand. It left dark, wet patches on the ground. Some guys already had their shirts completely soaked through at the chest. Some guys' hands were sweating so badly, the playing cards they were holding got completely soggy and ruined. Others had so much sweat dripping down their faces, they couldn't even keep their eyes open. But look at me, not only was I standing perfectly still, I barely had a drop of sweat on my face compared to everyone else. For someone who's trained before, standing at attention for 10 hours straight isn't even that hard. The real killer is the scorching sun. That's what really breaks you. Yet here I was, barely sweating at all. It honestly defied science. Captain Wang instinctively frowned. He thought to himself, I'm sweating more than Lin Wang is. Is this kid secretly an alien wearing human skin? Okay, obviously he was joking. Captain Wang figured I just naturally didn't sweat much. But he also knew the risks. Sweating is the body's main way to cool down. If you don't sweat, the heat stays trapped inside you. And that's exactly how you die from severe heat stroke. Literally baking to death from the inside. That thought really panicked Captain Wang. He marched right up to me and asked, how are you feeling right now? If something feels off, speak up immediately. Sir, I feel perfectly fine, sir. Wang closely studied my face. Once he was sure I was completely alert, he finally went back to his spot. But he still called for the camp medic right away. He was terrified that my lack of sweat was actually going to give me a deadly heat stroke. Once the medic rushed over, I got a full checkup. The other recruits were staring in absolute shock. What the heck is going on? Wang Dahu was panicking on the inside. Oh man, we're screwed. Lin Wang actually broke down from standing so long. Damn, the medic is actually here. Well, at least Lin Wang gets to rest now. Should I fake passing out so I can get a break too? Honestly, I felt so awkward about the medic showing up. The captain was way too paranoid. I went along with the medic's checkup, and then went right back to standing at attention. The medic reported my vitals to Captain Wang. When Wang heard the results, his eyes lit up in total disbelief. He stared at me so intensely, it was like he was looking at his first love. Turns out, not only do I naturally sweat less, but my core temperature wasn't rising at all. Despite the extreme heat, I was completely immune to the heat. A guy who barely sweats and resists extreme heat like that, he has insanely powerful endurance in long combat situations. Sweating less stops dehydration, and the heat resistance means your body can take boiling temperatures. While staying in peak fighting condition for way longer, Captain Wang just kept looking at me, and couldn't stop himself from smiling. Lin Wang, oh, Lin Wang, how many more surprises are you going to throw at me? With a freakish body and insane discipline like yours, it's a damn good thing you joined the military. Otherwise, it'd be a total waste of talent. Everyone saw Captain Wang smiling at me. I knew exactly what that proud smirk meant. But the other clueless recruits? They were absolutely terrified. He just called the medic over. And now he's creepily smiling at Lin Wang? Oh god, did the captain just come up with some twisted new way to torture us? Another 2 hours dragged by. The new guys were dropping like flies. They all got dragged off to rest. Eventually, the only people left standing on the field were the squad leaders. And me, a single recruit. The rest of the guys were slumped on the ground, looking completely dead inside, and this was only the beginning. Who knows what kind of fresh hell the captain is going to put us through next. My legs are so swollen they won't stop shaking. Yet Lin Wang is just standing there like it's a walk in the park. Wang Zhisheng looked at his watch, then looked back at me. I was still standing there, completely motionless. Originally, he had only planned to have us practice the standing position for 2 hours. But he didn't expect me to easily pull off 4 straight hours. He really wanted to see just how far my limits went, but if this kept up, it would delay the rest of the training. So, to keep things on schedule, Wang Zhisheng shouted over to me, Lin Wang, you can rest now. I shouted a loud acknowledgement of the order, then marched in place for a few steps. I shook it out for a few seconds, and then, looking completely unaffected, I walked over to the freshman's resting area and sat down. Man, Lin Wang is an absolute beast. He stood there for so long, and he's not even breaking a sweat. The second I sat down, a whole crowd swarmed right around me. Wang Dahu poked and squeezed my calf out of curiosity, asking, "Lin Wang, don't your legs hurt? How did you just casually stroll back here like nothing happened? Lin Wang, you're my boss from now on. You've got to teach me how to stand at attention like that." I only stood there for a little bit, and I thought I was going to die of pain. "Boss, how are you barely even sweating?" The guys kept throwing questions at me, one after another. Aside from calling me a superhuman freak, they all wanted to claim me as their leader, begging me to teach them the trick to standing perfectly still. Wang Zhisheng and the instructor, Wang Min, watched all this from the sidelines and smiled at each other. Wang Min said, "With an elite recruit like Lin Wang around, he can really boost the motivation of the other guys." Not bad at all. Wang Zhisheng sighed deeply. At first, I honestly thought he was just some lazy slacker who couldn't even report on time and had zero respect for discipline. Who knew we'd struck absolute gold? After a short rest, Wang Zhisheng blew his whistle and yelled for us to fall in. The next drill was formation turning, marching, double timing, and other basic maneuvers. Now, these might sound like the easiest things in the world, but actually drilling them is completely exhausting. After we practiced for half an hour, Wang Zhisheng realized that I was even better than he'd thought. My formation movements? There was no way a raw recruit could hit that standard. He honestly felt that even if he stepped in himself, he wouldn't be able to do it better than me. The doubt crept back into his mind. Was this kid really not a seasoned veteran? Why did he act like a total pro in absolutely every single way? After a bit more drilling, Wang Zhisheng barked out, "All right. Now, we'll break down by squads. Squad leaders and deputies will take over the drills. Make sure you correct every little mistake these freshmen make." My own squad leader, Li Xin, pulled me straight out of the ranks and told me to lead the drill. And honestly, the experience from my past life, marching in those massive military parades, and wearing straight through 3 pairs of combat boots, really gave me some incredibly useful tricks. Under my lead, our squad completely outshined everyone else on the field. Naturally, my street cred with all the other freshmen shot through the roof. When the raw talent is just sitting right there, you really have no choice but to respect it. But after an entire afternoon of brutal drills, the guys who had never tasted real hardship were about to break. It wasn't until Wang Zhisheng finally yelled, "Dismissed," that the guys managed to find a tiny spark of life. Even then, their response was a completely pathetic, uneven groan. Hearing that weak mess, Wang Zhisheng's face turned completely dark as he asked, "Sounding pretty weak there. Looks like you ladies are feeling a little tired. Completely out of gas, huh?" When he said that, the naive freshman actually thought he was checking in on them. One of the gutsier troublemakers piped up and yelled, "Captain, we've been up drilling since 5:30 this morning. We're absolutely dead on our feet. My legs are literally about to fall off, Captain. Since we trained so hard this afternoon, you gotta give us some extra chicken legs." Hearing that, I couldn't help but chuckle to myself. These newbies were just too naive. The squadron leader in charge of our training would never be kind enough to actually care about them. When things seem too good to be true, there's always a catch. Hearing their pleas, Wang Zhisheng nodded, and then practically roared his reprimand. "Is this how you stand in formation? Do you even look like soldiers? A soldier can bleed, a soldier can die, but a soldier never loses their morale. Now look at the state of you. Are you tired? Are you hungry? Out of energy? Well, I've got a great way to put some spine back into you. We are going to sing military songs. And once your morale is back up, that's when training ends and you get to eat." The newbies were absolutely dumbfounded. They cursed old Black Wang in their hearts. "You really are evil. Pure, unadulterated evil. We've been up training since 5:30 this morning. And now you're just making up excuses to starve us. That's just messed up." He clapped his hands, stepped right to the front of the formation, and started teaching us military songs. Desperate to eat, everyone screamed at the top of their lungs. Voices were cracking left and right, and the lyrics just turned into a slurred mess. Some guys were pushing so hard, their whole faces turned beet red. Seeing that everyone had just about reached their limit, Wang Zhisheng finally gave a nod. "All right, you sounded terrible, but I'm a soft-hearted guy. You can all head over to the cafeteria entrance. Everyone felt like crying, but they didn't even have the energy for tears. You call that soft-hearted? We practically busted our lungs out there. And all we get is a "you sounded terrible"? Old Black Wong, do you even have a conscience? I couldn't help but smile to myself right then. It reminded me of my own bootcamp days in my past life. Our instructors used to torture us the exact same way, and we acted just like these rookies. We'd curse them out behind their backs. But on the day bootcamp ended and we had to part ways, none of us wanted to say goodbye to our instructors. Going through it all over again. My mindset was completely different now. Because of my stellar performance, Wang Zhisheng was always subconsciously keeping an eye on me. So, that little smirk on my face didn't escape his piercing gaze. "What are you smiling about over there?" Hearing that, I barked out, "Sir, I was smiling because you're playing word games, sir. You told us to head to the cafeteria entrance, sir. You never said we were actually going to eat." Nobody else caught that little detail. And the second we messed up, it'd definitely slap us with extra training. Hearing this, the rest of the squad looked completely lost. Wait, what? But the moment my words actually clicked in their heads, they stared at Wang Zhisheng in pure shock. Holy crap, old Black Wang was actually setting us up. Is his heart made of solid stone? He really lives up to the name Old Black Wang. Well, I didn't expect you to actually catch that little detail in my orders. Wang Zhisheng gave a helpless but pleasantly surprised smile. I can't believe you saw right through that, kid. Looks like I still need to work on my tricks.